I mean, increased nameplate range is massive for a lot of people. That's not what this video is about. This video is about how you can prepare for TBC, as in getting loads of quests ready. Now, it's not quite as simple as just going around and getting your quest log stacked up. Obviously, if it was that easy, there'd be no point doing this video. There's a lot more thought that needs to go into it. So firstly, yes, in the pre-patch, the quest log goes up to 25. At the moment, it's 20. Now, the important thing here is there's loads and loads of quests that you can prepare that don't actually need you to have the quest, if that makes sense. The less you've done during Classic, obviously, the easier it is. Now, I explained this on stream, and it was specifically for a YouTube video, but I realised that I didn't actually record the intro. So this is the intro. The rest that I show you was actually what I done live on stream, but it was directed at you, like as in directed for YouTube. The most important thing when you're preparing is actually understanding how you find out how much XP you get, whether you've done the quest, looking at the follow-ups, so breaking them down and then keeping a spreadsheet. Now the spreadsheet that I'll show you during this, I'll shout the guy out who actually made the spreadsheet, but I've made loads of changes to it. But to suit me. So what I would encourage you to do is make loads of changes to it to suit you as well, because there'll be lots of quests on here that you can't do, maybe because you don't want to raid, and some of them are like Nefarian's Head, Hakkar, Heart of Hakkar, things like that. Or there might be ones that you've already done. So I explain how you can add or take away from this sheet during the video. So basically, looking at using Questy as an add-on. If you haven't got that, get that straight away. You know, download this sheet. You'll be able to get it on my Discord. The link's in the description below, and be able to navigate around Wowhead. It's literally as simple as that. I'm aiming for 2 levels at launch, and I did play quite hard in phase 1 and 2. So, but that was literally phase 1 and 2. And to be fair, most of these quests are after that. But as long as you don't mind spending a little bit of gold on some bits as well, and I would recommend having a second character called Quest Prep or TBC Quest or whatever you want it, you know, something that you can remember, and have all these like sort of BOE items or quest items stacked up on it, and then just return all the mail to your main the day before and set yourself out a good route. Now the route that I'm going, I'm literally only using like Silithus, Feralus, WPL, EPL. I've got quest in Blasted Lands to hand in on the way to the portal and the Zul'Gurub Island. And again, I was quite fortunate that I've not done anything on Zul'Gurub, so I'm getting like 100,000 XP just from the Zul'Gurub quest alone. But you've got a few weeks to get this preparation done, and you might be getting a bit bored. You might want to do loads of PvP in the pre-patch. I do. That's why I'm sort of really trying to get as much of this done in the next week as possible, and then I've only got to spend a little bit of time during the pre-patch. But let's get into it. If you do find this useful, please like, subscribe, and ultimately loads of TBC content coming, so you might as well. On a side note, sorry, before we do get into it, I don't know if you know, but there was loads of beta invites that went out to do basically like a stress test or a launch test, whatever you want to call it, tonight. Now, I'm waiting as we speak on some beta keys to be delivered to my inbox. So, assuming that I get them before tonight's stream, I will be doing some beta key giveaways later. So, make sure you check me out, twitch.tv/Scottejaye87. Come over and say hello. I'll be streaming the stress/launch test, and I'll also be doing a Karazhan, hopefully directly afterwards. Maybe you can get involved if you want a key. So now let's get into it. Alright, so yeah, this is the sheet. This was made by Limey on Bloodfang EU, so his details are there if you want to message him on Discord and ask any questions. But this is not exactly how his is now, because I've been sort of changing it, playing about with it, putting quests in that I know, you know, well, taking quests out I know I've done and putting quests in that I know I can do. And I'm starting to make my own little route down here as well. But it shows you by zone the valuable quests that are worth doing, and basically how much XP you'll get from each zone. So some of them are really noticeable, sort of like Zul'Gurub, for example, where if you haven't played a lot, or you're just coming back, or it's a fresh character, or whatever, then you know you could potentially use coins to basically get yourself to Exalted, which is what I'm doing. Then you can hand in one of the Bijous for like 14k. All the free gear pieces you can go and start getting now during the pre-patch, you know, for another nearly 30k. Neck turn-ins for nearly 40k. You know, it adds up really quickly, and I'm fortunate enough that I can actually do all of that. I mean, I'm currently working on Silithus, so I'm going to be an interesting tip, which literally I've just been educated on the stream, because as you know, I've not really done a great deal in Classic. But the reputation to get Cenarian Circle to Exalted gets a lot easier in the pre-patch. So you start getting 500 for each Twilight Text quest handing. So if you want to do the items where you get like well, for me as a druid, the ring, the weapon, and the cape, then obviously you might as well wait. Maybe get all the stuff together now, which is what I'm going to be doing, but then wait until the pre-patch to actually worry about getting the reputation with them. But ultimately, you know, it's got all the big hitting quests, so like Death Clasp, which is a group quest. you know, all of these. But basically what you want to do is think about where you have and haven't quested, then start following the procedure that I'm about to show you. But also, just really quickly, obviously you're probably thinking, well, if I can only get 20 quests in the log, what's the use in that? Which I completely understand, but you can get more than 20 quests, because I mean, I'm currently on about 200k-ish, I would say, XP that's not even in my quest log. They're all sat on an alt. So another tip, make an alt and have all of your stuff mailed to it now, and then when when you're ready, so like the day before launch, just return all the mail to your character, log out near a mailbox, boom, and then just go around, set yourself a route up and handle them quests in. But let me just show you how now the preparation wise that how I'm adding to this list. I mean, that's a big one, you know, and because you might have done loads more quests than I've done. I've not done that many, so you know, you've got to probably be picky on what ones you do and don't do. And obviously with repeatable handings, they don't give XP past the first quest. So if you've already handed some of these in for reputation, for example, with Argent Dawn or stuff like that, you're not going to be able to stock up on those like Crypt Stalker parts and bone fragments and stuff like that, because I've not handed them in before. So I can get the XP from the first handings, you won't be able to. So let's just have a quick look in game, and I'll show you what I'm using Questy. I mean, using Questy is fairly basic, but I'll show you how I'm preparing my route and where I'm getting the quest information from. So literally, I knew I'd done practically nothing in Silithus. So obviously, the first thing you do is with Questy on, have a look at what quests you can get, and if you can't be bothered to travel there, you know, have a look at what quests are available, and just go to a zone where you know it's sort of 55 plus, and you've got a lot there. So Eastern Plaguelands is obviously a prime example. Everybody's going to be handing in at Light's Hope Chapel because there's just so many quests there. But for example, this, so we'll use the Restless Souls as an example. Now, I've got that quest in my quest log, so I was thinking, like, should I do this? You know, is it going to be worth doing? On the basis, it's not that far of a run. You know, if I'm handing in at Light's Hope, is it worth doing this? So literally, all you want to do is go on TBC Wowhead, and it's important that you go on TBC Wowhead, because if you go on Wowhead Classic, it's not going to show the right XP values. But if we look at Restless Souls, so we'll scroll down, so it's 14,300 XP. So that's the second part. Obviously, I'm on the first part. So the first part is just to go and hand it in, which is 10k. Now, it would be nice, this is when you're looking at the quest, you want to look at, can you hand in and then can you get a follow-up that you can do very quickly just by going and talking to someone else, or even if it was killing a few mobs, it's going to be worth doing if it's going to give you chunky XP afterwards. This one doesn't. This one, basically, you need to go into Strat. But it's 14,300 XP at level 60. So to say, when we look in game again, I'm going to get 14k from running from Light's Hope Chapel to there. You know, it's an absolute no-brainer. And the reason it's a no-brainer as well is because you're only going to get about 10k a quest in Outland. So if you can hand in and get 14k, you know, you're not going to get in Outland and start doing a quest and complete it in the time it takes me to run from Light's Hope Chapel to just outside Stratholme for 14k. I'm going to get more XP than you do in Outland. So, I mean, you know, you can see how that's worthwhile. But now, one last little bit before I actually get back to streaming. If you're not sure about whether you've done a quest or not, so if we was to say, for example, if I just move, let me just move my camera. So if we was to look at Bone Scythe Digs, because that is a repeatable quest. So if you wanted to know whether you've done it or not, so we'll go to Bone Scythe Digs. So yeah, this gives 10k, and obviously you don't need the item. You don't need the quest. You can leave the quest there, but just have the bone fragments in your bag. So if you want to find out whether you've done this or not, see if you've already completed the quest by typing this. So you can just copy that, and then it will return a value, true or false, whether you've done it or not. Now, I've just had to do this a bit of an arse about face way round, because I can never actually get this Wowhead command to actually work. I have to use a different command, which is this, and I'll put both of these in the description anyway. So if you use the one that I'll put in the description anyway, that one will actually work, and then it will return true or false whether you've actually completed the quest or not. But that's literally all I'm doing. That's how I'm getting all of the quests prepped. I'm checking a quest, so secret communication, I need 10 Twilight texts. Odds are I'm going to do that because I want to spam to Exalted to be able to handle the other quests in. But looking at like Twilight Geolords, for example, you know, we can then look, does it give decent follow-ups? Is there a part of the chain? So if we look at Twilight Geolords, you can see it gives 10k. So you could potentially complete this quest and have it to hand in. Or then you've got Viral the Vile, Signet Ring, which is a follow-up. So now you want to know whether this gives more. It don't, it only gives 10k as well. So on the basis that like you'd have to look at what you actually have to do for this quest. So, you know, to understand whether it's going to be worthwhile quickly running over and doing this. So you get 10k from the initial quest and then maybe 10k from the second one. I'm probably not going to bother. I probably will have Twilight Geolores to hand in just because I want all my quests in a nice tight area. I want a lot to hand in here. I'm then going to be going up to Feralus and handing in a couple in up there. Then I'm going to want to go to Eastern Plaguelands and Western Plaguelands, basically. So I only want a short sort of amount of time spent handing them in, and it should get me to 62. That's it. That's how I would do it. I would literally be looking for quests all in one zone that you haven't completed that give big XP. Check the follow-ups. So check the first quest. If it's not amazing XP, check the follow-up. You might even get halfway through a chain, and that could be where you actually get the big XP. And I've got one like that actually in Western Plaguelands. So I hope this was useful to somebody, and I'm going to get back to the stream now and then have to edit this quite a lot later due to all the mistakes. So peace out. Once again, massive shout out to all you guys up there that have joined the channel as a member, so that's as a supporter or a legendary supporter. Every single one of you, really, really appreciate it. It just keeps helping the channel grow, helps keeping me sat in this chair pumping out TBC content that hopefully you want to see. Come check me out over on twitch.tv/Scottejaye87, where I stream most nights, pretty much every night, while the beta's out anyway, and then I'm probably going to be just doing 4 nights a week, which is still quite a lot. But again, massive thank you guys, all of you, even the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. Everything helps this channel keep growing from now until TBC and beyond. See you on the next one.